Shavasana. Starting off the class on our backs in Shavasana with the palms facing up and the toes falling open towards the sides of the mat. Go ahead and close your eyes. Exhale all of your air out. Take a few inhales in through the mouth, out through the mouth. Just start to settle down onto your mat. Feel all the points on the backside of your body connected to the mat. And then we start to also connect the mind. Letting go of anything that came before or comes after this class, and bringing your attention to the now, the present. We start to cultivate the Ujjayi pranayama, the victorious breath, inhaling through the nose, feeling the air flow down the back of the throat, filling up the lungs, and then exhaling through the nose with the mouth closed. As you exhale, think about pushing the air up and out of the throat, creating a sort of rustling-like sound with the breath, an audible checkpoint for you to be able to feel the breath moving through the body. Sticking with this Ujjayi breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose throughout class. If ever the breath feels held or choppy, you can come back to a child's pose, to a Shavasana, and reconnect. I haven't already hinted at it, the intention that I offer for this practice today is connect. And so too does the body point of focus, your IT band, the iliotibial band, running down the outsides of the tops of both of your legs. This is not a muscle, but instead fibrous tissue. So as we move through class, think about focusing on the muscles around the hip, around the knee, the leg, the glutes. All of those things that keep you moving. And connect with these muscles, with the movement, and of course with the breath. With that, you may have melted into your mat already. Blink the eyes open. We start to wake up the body, pulling the knees gently into the chest, wrapping your hands around your shins. Gently roll to the left and the right. Massage out the tops and bottoms of the back. And then stop in the center. Cactus the arms out, letting the backs of the hands and the arms fall to the mat. And then gently drop the knees over towards the left. They may want to drop a little further away from the elbow, so a lot of space between the left elbow and the knees. Allowing a big yawning open of the body. Just a gentle supine twist here. Try to connect that right shoulder down towards the mat. Doesn't matter if your knees fall all the way down to the mat. Think about breathing into the right side of the body from your right armpit down to your right hip. Inhale here. Exhale, gently bring the knees back to center, drop them over to the other side. Knees to the right, gaze can move gently to the left. And again, think about breathing space between that left armpit and left hip bone. You maybe feel a little tight on the outside of the left hip. Just send breath there. Meet yourself wherever you are with this stretch today. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Pick the feet up off the mat and then tuck that tailbone up towards the ceiling. So if you have to lift your butt off the ground and then drop it back down, I want that lower back connected with the mat. You can bring your hands by your sides with the palms facing down. And if you want to squeeze into the sides of your hips with your wrists, you can do so. Gently reach the legs up overhead, stretch them out, try to straighten the legs. Flex the feet as much as you can. Activate through those feet, through those legs. If you want to gently let the legs come apart a little bit to be hips width distance, you can. I want you to imagine you're in a standing forward fold with your legs. So think about opening up the backside of the legs, flexing the feet as if they're stomping onto the ceiling. Taking a few deep breaths here. And notice that you can do poses in different ways. So we know the standing forward fold. We're activating the same muscles here in this reclined pose. One more breath in, flex those feet a lot. And then exhale, you can gently unflex the feet. Just let the legs be soft. Inhale here, and then exhale, drop the right leg down, hover it an inch or two above the mat. Now, if you feel the lower back lift, re-scoop that tailbone up to the ceiling. Keep flexing that foot. You can point the toes if you prefer also for this one. I like to flex them. Feels like it activates my lower leg more. One more breath in here. And then gently bring that right leg back up. Stomp it towards the ceiling. Lower the left leg. Breathe here. Heel hovers a few inches above the mat. Starting to activate already through the core, the legs. Warming up the muscles that help us move. Lift that leg. Let's go ahead and make it more dynamic. Inhale, flex the feet. Exhale, lower the right leg. Inhale, lift right. Exhale, lower left. Inhale, lift left. Exhale, lower right. Inhale, lift. Left lowers. Lift. Keep going with that. Lower. Lift. Lower. One more on each side. And if you want to switch the breath always for these and have your exhale and your inhales opposite to what I was describing, you can do so. There's no right or wrong answer. When you finish those two and get to the top, flex the feet once more, and then gently bring the knees into the chest once again. Roll up and down the length of your spine. This time, maybe your hands are right on the insides of those knees. Gently give it a few rolls here. Rounding through the spine. Use a little momentum if you like. Next time you come up, stay in boat pose for a second. So you're going to roll onto those sits bones. Your hands are still under your knees. The toes are pointed. And pull your core, your belly up in towards the tops of your legs. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and down the back. Roll the shoulders towards the back and down. Activating through Navasana boat pose early on in the practice. Inhale here. Exhale, gently lower the feet down to the mat. We're just going to come to a quick forward fold here. So however you need to, get to forward fold, standing with hips width distance apart. Feet are hips width distance, should I say. That's like 2 fists in between your toes if you need to measure. And then let the head hang heavy. You can keep the legs straight if you like, or give them a slight bend, trying to bring your belly closer to the tops of the legs. Inhale here. Exhale, press into the feet. Bend the knees, gently roll up to stand. Inhale, mountain pose Tadasana, palms face forward, look forward, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take any tilt out of the pelvis. So if you feel your back arching a little bit, you can manually take your hands and get rid of that tilt, tucking your pelvis down towards the floor a little bit. Inhale here. Exhale to stay. Inhale, bend the knees a little, arms reach up overhead, press palms overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Circle the arms down and then up again. Inhale, press palms overhead. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale to half lift. Crown of the head reaches forward, flat back. Squeeze the elbows in by your side. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Step both feet back to a high plank position, a high push-up. Shoulders over wrists. Drop the butt down in line with the shoulders or a little lower. And then roll forward so that the heels are over the balls of the feet. Your shoulders should be stacked in a direct line over the wrists. So if they're a little bit more forward, you can always edit your stance a little bit, or widen, should I say. One more inhale here. Suck the belly button into the spine. Exhale, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. You're in that upside down V shape, down dog. Let's connect with the different parts of this pose. So toes point forward, feet or hips width distance apart. Hands or shoulders width distance apart. Spread the fingers as wide as you can. Shoulders are way behind your wrists. Imagine I had two hands on your hips and I was pulling them up towards the ceiling. You have a little scoop in the lower back if you like, or you can work to straighten. Take a few breaths here to play around in the pose. So as you press into the palms, can you press away like you could lift your shoulder sockets off of your arms and then gently release that? Press away and then gently release. Play around with turning your armpits up towards the ceiling, wrapping those outer arm muscles, those triceps around the bone and down towards the mat. Bending the knees and then straightening them if you like. Bending and then straightening. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. On the inhale, roll forward to a plank once again. Try to make it smooth like you're moving through molasses. Exhale, lower the knees, lower the chest and the chin to the mat, and then untuck the toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Chest reaches forward, tops of feet to the mat. Squeeze the elbows in by your side, look forward. Inhale here. Exhale, press back up to a down dog. You can do it through bent knees or through a plank, whatever's best for you today. On the inhale, right leg lifts up and back. Exhale, open the hip up, bend the knee. Drop that right knee towards your, that right heel towards your bum. Just open the right knee up towards the ceiling. If you felt the weight shift in your arms, try to roll that right shoulder down again and square your chest to the mat. You're just opening up the hip here. No need to change the chest. Inhale, straighten the leg, three-legged dog, reach it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach the leg back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach it up one more time. Exhale, knee to nose. This time hold. Gently step that right foot through between the hands. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms reach up overhead. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. You can feel your left hip dropping down towards the mat, but I also want you to find a scissoring motion in the legs. So that right toe, right knee point forward, but imagine you could pull the mat back a little bit and pull the mat forward with the left hip. We're activating through those legs, warming up the insides of the legs, and the arms are reaching up overhead. Take a few breaths here. Find a lift through the chest, look up. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Take that right foot, walk it out all the way towards the outside of the mat. We're going to come into a low runner's lunge. So we're going to tuck those back toes and lift the back knee. Come down onto your forearms. If that's not available to you, you can stay in a higher runner's lunge with both hands on the inside of the foot. Wherever you are, I'd like you to squeeze the right leg into the right arm. So press that right forearm or right outer arm into the inside of the right leg. Find activation. Give yourself a hug. with that right knee. Press the right knee into the arm or the shoulder. Take a few more breaths here. Last inhale in. Press up to your hands if you're not already there. Spread the fingers as wide as you can, and then press the arms again, just like in that down dog where you could lift your shoulder sockets off of the arms, and then gently step the right foot back to a high plank. Press back to a downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, open up the hip, bend the knee. Once again, if the weight shifted in the hands, try to turn that left shoulder down towards the mat again, square the chest to the mat, even if that means your hip closes a little bit. Breathe here. And then exhale, straighten the leg, three-legged dog. Inhale, point the toes. Exhale, knee towards nose, shoulder over wrist. Inhale, lift the leg, three-legged dog. Exhale to crunch, knee towards nose. Inhale to lift, last one. Exhale, knee to nose. And then step that left foot through, drop the back knee. Untuck the toes, Anjaneyasana. Low lunge, arms reach up overhead. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Turn the pinkies in to face one another, palms face one another. Inhale here. Exhale to stay. Remember to try to find that scissoring motion in the legs, like you could pull the left heel back and the right hip forward. Inhale. Exhale, gently lower the hands down to the mat. Start to walk that left foot to the outside of the mat. Runner's lunge. Staying in a high lunge with the knee gripping the outside of the tricep, or lowering down to a low runner's lunge. Pick up that back knee, tuck the toes, squeeze the left leg into the outside of the left arm, wherever it is. Take a few breaths here. If you're not already there, place the hands on the mat, come into the high push-up with the hands, and then press into the hands a lot. Lift those shoulder sockets off of the arm bones and step that left foot back to meet the right. High plank pose. Inhale to press away from the mat. Exhale, half push up down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tops of feet to the mat. Chest reaches through. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down the back. Press into the hands. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Roll over or untuck the toes. Find that upside down V shape. Beautiful. Inhale here. Exhale to stay. On the inhale, right leg lifts, toes point. Exhale, right knee towards your nose. Inhale to lift, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee towards nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale to lift. Exhale, knee to nose. And then step that right foot through. We'll come up into a warrior one. So spiral the back, heel down. And if you need to walk your right foot out just a little bit, you can. Let's get the alignment from the ground up. Right knee and right toes point straight forward. We don't want the knee jutting out or in. Find that line, make sure you can see your toes. Back heel, back knife edge of the foot is on the mat, pointing out somewhere from 45 to 60 degrees or so. Everyone's ankle and leg is a little different. Once you have that, hands on the hips. Take that right hip and pull it back and down. You can use your right thumb to press into the back side of where your glute, your butt meets your back, and pull that back as you use that same left or different left thumb to push the left hip forward. What we're doing with this is trying to square the hips to the front of the mat. Imagine you had two flashlights on your front hip bones, just like with a car. Those lights are pointing forward, straight ahead. When the car turns left, they turn left. When it turns right, they turn right. For warrior two, they're somewhere totally different, right? So here we are, warrior one. You've had a few breaths here. Activate through the legs. Keep bending that front knee a little bit more, pressing into the back knife edge of your foot. Inhale. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, humbled warrior. Gently start to lower your head towards the mat. Really slowly, keeping the legs firm. Bring the body to the inside of the right leg. Your fists are gonna reach over your head, finding a little shoulder stretch here. Stay active through the legs, pressing that left knife edge of your foot into the mat, keeping that right knee in the 90-degree angle. And then again, just like we did in runner's lunge, find the right shoulder connected to the inside of the right leg. Squeeze the right leg in if you can. Maybe someday your head touches the mat, maybe not. That doesn't matter. What matters is the breath. What matters is that you're holding this. Inhale here. Exhale, gently roll on up. Press into that right foot to come up. Arms reach apart, warrior two. Those left toes fan out to point straight to the left side. Your right hip and left hip are now pointing sort of towards 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Arms reach apart in a T. Bend that right front knee. Make sure you can see your toes. Inhale here. Exhale to stay. Inhale, flip the front right hand. Reach forward, forward, forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand touches down on the back quad. Right hand reaches up. Breathe here. Inhale to reach. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the foot. Once you have your foot framed, stay. Right foot is between the legs. We're going to a little side plank here. You can always bring your left knee down if you like, but for side plank, what we're going to work on is pressing those hands into the mat once again, like you could lift your shoulder sockets off of your arm until you can lift that right foot, step it back on top of the left, and spiral the left knife edge of the foot down. Then when you have that right arm, lifts up. We're stacking left shoulder over left elbow over left wrist. You can, of course, come down to your forearm if you want to take some of the work out of the arm and put more into the core. Lift that right hip up towards the ceiling. Right arm can reach overhead to extend it, finding a stretch out the tips of the right fingers, and then gently bring it down to the mat. Shift the hips back, plank. Go through a flow here, either knees, chest, and chin to cobra, or chaturanga to upward facing dog. We meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale to reach it back. Exhale, crunch. Last one. Once you crunch, left foot comes between the hands. Spiral the back heel and foot down. Warrior one. Hands down to your hips once again. Those thumbs are on the back side of the body where the glutes meet the back. We're pulling that left hip back, pushing that right hip forward, pressing the knife edge of the right foot into the mat. So we don't want what our hands and hips are doing to tweak our knee in any way. We need to activate through that whole back leg. Left knee and toes point forward. Inhale, the arms reach up overhead. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Bend that front left knee a little more. Inhale to lift the chest, look up. Exhale, interlace the hands behind your back. Pick a different hand interlace. So whatever you do on the other side, do the unnatural one. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, slowly with control. Start to lower the upper body down, lower the head down. Crown of the head towards the mat, humbled warrior. Inside of the left leg squeezes outside of the left arm or shoulder. Hands reach over the head. Press the back knife edge of the foot into the mat. Continue to connect all the different parts. Take a few breaths here, close the eyes. Gently reach the hands back, using your breath. Come on back up. Inhale, warrior two. Adjust the legs if you need to. Right toes point out to the right side. Left knee and toes don't change. Arms reach apart in a T. Look over those front fingertips. Inhale here. Exhale to sit a little lower. Inhale, flip the front left palm, reach forward, forward, forward. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Right hand reaches back, down towards the outside of the right leg. Left hand reaches up, find a stretch. Left hip out the left fingertips. Inhale here. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Same thing when you get to that low lunge. Press the hands into the mat, press away. Gently lift that left foot. Step it on top of the right, and then rotate that right knife edge of the foot down. Slowly lift the left arm up. Again, you can do this from your forearms as well, which takes the work out of the arm and puts more into the core. If you're in high or forearm, wherever you are, keep lifting up that right bottom booty cheek, pressing it up, lifting that left hip bone up towards the ceiling. Find the work in the side body here. Inhale. Exhale. Gently start to bring the left hand down, roll onto the tips of your toes. Go through a flow or meet us straight in downward facing dog. When you get to down dog, exhale. Inhale, lift the toes. Lift the heels. Exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, lift, look forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the heels, look forward. Exhale, lower. And then gently bring the knees down to the mat. Bring the knees a little closer together. We'll take a child's pose here, but with the hands reached back behind you, palms facing up. So tough to do this one if your knees are spread too far apart. You're hugging your arms by your side. Close the eyes. Forehead to the mat. Hips towards your heels. And if you have to choose forehead to the mat or hips towards heels, always choose forehead to the mat. Reconnect with the breath. Touch base with the body. Do you feel a little bit of warmth in your legs? That's the work. Gently roll on up to stand on your knees. So knees are hips width distance apart. Toes are untucked, so the tops of feet are on the mat. And your shoulders are stacked on top of your hips, which are stacked on top of your knees. We're moving to a quick gate pose here, just to take a few breaths on each side. So your hands can come to your hips. Then I want you to lift that right leg up, right knee up, and step the right foot straight out to the side. And then press the whole knife edge of the foot, the whole foot onto the mat. The only thing that's lifted is maybe a little arch. You'll feel it on the outsides of that ankle, yeah? Your knee is kind of in line with the arch of your foot, or your left knee is in line with the arch of your foot. And then we're straightening that leg and breathing here. Keep that right hand on the hip, take the left hand up, palm faces the midline, and then start to bend over towards your right side. So you're finding one long line of energy from the left knee, out the left fingertips, and a big stretch in left side body. Keep activating through that right leg though. Don't put too much weight in that right hand. Just use it as a balancer. Think about keeping your whole body on one plane. So your left shoulder is not tilting forward or reaching back. You're going straight to the right side with those left fingertips. Breathe here in gate. And then gently circle that left arm down and back onto the hip. Pull that right knee in. Let's do the same thing other side. If you want to shake the hips out a little, you can. Right knee is on the mat, top of the foot on the mat. Step the left foot straight out. Flex. It's not flex the foot, but I guess toes point straight forward. You're feeling a little bit of stretch on the outside of your ankle. So there's muscles that work around the ankle. Once you have that, keep the left hand, right hand reaches up, palm faces the center, and then we start to reach it over to the left. Right hand reaches over. That left hand just gently rests for balance on the top of the left leg or the left hip. And then again, imagine your body's on one plane. All points of your back are touching an imaginary plane behind you, like you were sort of squeezed between two pieces of glass. Inhale here. Exhale to stay. With every inhale, reach those right fingertips a little more up. With every exhale, maybe you get another centimeter of height or of bend, whatever is best for you. Gently release that right hand back down to the hip. Bring the left leg back in. Shake the hips out a little bit. Beautiful. And then gently sit the hips back onto your heels and flip on over to your bum. Get the sits bones on the mat. We're doing 2 boat poses this class, one at the beginning, one at the end. So walk your heels in towards your bum, hands to your shins. If you feel any rounding in the spine, think about pulling your nipples to your knees, your belly to your quads, the tops of your legs, finding a really strong, tall spine. Like you could lift the crown of the head all the way up to the ceiling. When you have that activation, you can lift your heels off the mat. Stay here with your boat docked, or lift the feet off the mat, bend the knees at a 90-degree angle, reach the arms forward, palms face up. If you get any rounding in the spine, think again about lifting that chest on top of the knees. You're in a normal V shape. If you want to extend your legs, you can, but don't lose that lift. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down, palms face up. Keep breathing here for 5. For 3. If you're shaking, that's a good thing. Keep shaking. Last one. And then gently bring the feet back down to the mat. We're going to do a few Russian twists here. Let's call it 10. So keep the feet anchored on the mat. Your hands can be on your shins, and you're going to lean your upper body back. Find that same boat pose. When you have that, bring the hands together, clasp them at center. Keep that lift so you'll feel your abs start to engage here. Twist to the right, center, twist to the left, center, to the right, center, exhale, left, inhale, right, and left. Inhale, exhale, right, inhale, exhale, left. Inhale, 2 more, right, left, hold at center. Gently unclasp your hands. You can lower yourself down all the way onto the mat. Your knees are still reaching up towards the ceiling. Walk your feet back towards your hips. We've got a bridge pose here. It's going to go a little longer. We'll give the option to lift those legs up to the ceiling one at a time, the same way we did at the start of class. So, bridge pose to start. Hands by your side, palms face down next to your hips, heels walk back towards your bum. On the inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, gently start to walk your shoulder blades together. If you'd like to interlace your hands, you can, or you can keep them flat on the mat, but try to bring them a little closer towards one another. It's like you're pulling your chest apart, and then press into those feet a lot. Activate through the legs. So this isn't just your core holding you up. You're pressing into those feet a lot. You'll almost feel your chest move a little closer to your chin. Stay here and breathe for about 6 to 8 breaths, or inhale, press into the left leg and reach the right foot up towards the ceiling, flex the foot. Activate through every part of your body touching the mat. Flex that right foot a lot. Inhale to lift. Exhale, we stay. 2 more with the right lifted. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, flex the foot and lift. Exhale, gently lower that right foot down to the mat. Same thing, other side. If you're in bridge, keep breathing through it. Inhale, left leg lifts, flex the foot, leg straightens. Reach those hips up. Breathe here for 5. Hold for 4. Squeeze for 3. Keep breathing for 2. Last one, gently lower that left leg down. Slowly lower your spine down to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Squeeze the knees into your chest, roll to the left and the right. Nice. Lift that left leg up towards the ceiling. Cross the right leg over the left quad. So we're in a reclining figure four. The left leg is straightened and flexing towards the ceiling. And the right ankle is on top of the left leg. Both feet are flexed. Your hands can be, you can thread the needle and reach them through to wrap around the leg, or you can just leave them pressing gently onto the top of the left leg and the inside of the right. Pressing the right knee away from you as you pull the left quad in, keeping the lower back on the mat. A very active figure four. Beautiful. Then gently release the arms out to your side in a cactus. We're just going to do supine twist in this figure four. So you're going to drop your right foot down towards the mat, your left leg down towards the mat. Keep that right leg sort of crossed over. So the right knee is bent, the left leg is straight. You should be feeling this maybe in the outside of the right hip, the right glute. Breathe into it. Just enjoy. Gently bend the left leg, uncross the right, bring both legs back to center, knees to the chest. We do the other side. Right leg reaches up, straighten the leg, left leg crosses over. And if you want this to be more gentle, you can always drop that right foot down to the mat and just keep both legs bent. But if you're going for more of a stretch, flex that right foot. Press the left knee away from you, thread the needle and hold the leg if you like, or don't. Straighten that right leg a lot. Breathe here. Keeping it active. And then gently release the arms to the side in a cactus. Slowly start to lower the legs over towards the right side. Left foot touches the mat. Adjust if you don't have space like I do. Keeping that left foot crossed over, right leg extended. Breathe here into the left outer hip. Gently bend the right leg. Start to bring it all back to center. Bring both knees into the chest one more time. Squeeze yourself into a little ball, wrapping the hands around the shins, bringing your forehead towards your knees. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Giving yourself a big old tight hug. And then gently release everything down to the mat for final Shavasana, corpse pose. Close the eyes. Let the breath go. Let the body breathe itself. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Unclench your jaw. Let the eyelids be heavy. Let body be heavy. And stay in the Shavasana for as long as you like. If you're ready to be walked out, keep the eyes closed. Gently pull one knee into the chest and then the other. Inhale and reach the arms all the way up overhead. Roll over to either side, resting your bottom ear on your bottom bicep. Into a fetal position. And gently press your hands into the mat, walk yourself up to a seat. Any seat will do, keeping the eyes closed. Palms face up or down on the tops of the knees. Find the longest spine yet. We take 3 breaths together to end the class. Exhale all of your air out. Deep breath in through the nose. Hold it at the top. Through the nose, exhale. Deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, H-A. Inhale, blink the eyes open, reach the arms up overhead, press palms. Exhale, hands come down to your heart. Namaste, y'all.